have a vote.
Director Megan Gass. Here. Director Marsh.
Here.
Director Boyd.
Here.
Director Dye.
Here.
Director Slater Carter.
Present.
Chair Rada.
Here. Item 2, public comment. So, members of the public may comment on any item not on their regular agenda or on items that are on the consent agenda. So, if you have a comment to make, you can raise your hand and be let in, and we will also check with members of the public here. So, I'll go to online comments first. Is there anyone online who would like to comment on this item? I do not see any. So is there anyone in person at this meeting who would like to comment on items not on the regular agenda or on the consent agenda?
No, ma'am. No.
Okay. Seeing none, we'll move to item 3, which is the consent agenda. And that includes item 3A, approved minutes of September 8th, 2025, regular board meeting. Item 3B, approved disbursements for September 22nd, 2025. And item 3C, monthly revenue report and expense report for period ending August 31st, 2025. Does anyone wish to make a motion or pull an item?
I move that we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Item 4, regular business. We are looking at, excuse me.
This.
That is item 4A, authorize the general manager to enter into contract with RF McDonald Company for the installation of boiler number 2 at Sam Plant in the amount not to exceed $64,980.
Thank you very much. So we have 2 boilers at the wastewater treatment plant. A couple of years back, we did have a violation on boiler number 1, where the emissions was beyond the limits. And we brought it to the board, and the board authorized us to go ahead and purchase the boiler. So boiler number 1 was purchased and it was installed and it's working now. And then we followed the same path with boiler number 2 because it was getting close to exceeding the violation. So we did reach out to the board. We got authorization from the board. We placed the order on RF McDonald on the boiler supplier for supply of the boiler. So the boiler is expected now in the month of November. And this is basically to get authorization to enter into a contract with RF McDonald for installation of the boiler. We have already budgeted this item in the present budget of 25-26. We have budgeted about $100,000 for the installation of the boiler, although the proposal now is not to exceed $64,980. So once the board authorizes general manager to enter into a contract with RF McDonald, we'll reach out to them and we'll probably have them installed.
If you're watching this meeting online, please mute yourself. I can see.
I'm muted.
Carla Leon? Yes, please mute. Yes. Okay.
Okay. So we hope to get the boiler in the month of November, and then we'll go ahead and get things streamlined for install. Staff is here to answer any questions.
Okay. Director Nagenkast, start.
Thank you. On the proposal by McDonald, the last 2 bullet items, they say electrical and or new piping to be provided by others, roof penetrations or roofing for new and larger boiler flue locations by others. So what do they mean by others? Who does that? Is there really, that's just a standard language they put in there, or is that somebody else is going to have to do that work? And then if somebody else does it, do you track it so you keep track what the total cost of the boiler would be, whether it's even Sam staff or somebody else?
Yeah, we don't expect any roof penetration or roofing. It's just standard language. We're just removing the old boiler and putting the new boiler back. We didn't have to do any major changes when we installed the first boiler. So it'll be following the same practice. It's just standard language.
So that's just something they put in there just to.
Electrical, of course, we would have a certain small amount of time from Calcon to hook it up because we'll be unhooking it and then hooking the new boiler. We'll be calling Calcon at that point, and we'll be taking care of the SCADA and other programming things. But I don't envisage it would be the.
So it'd be minor, but do you still keep track of their time? Because I like the, the true cost of whatever item we're doing, so.
Yeah, we do keep track of the time because this particular project has got a project number. And anything built for that particular project gets by any vendor gets into that project.
Perfect.
So that's why if you ask for a cost of a particular project at any point of time, we're able to give it immediately as soon as possible because either captures everything and all our POs have their project number on that for different things.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Director Marsh?
Kitchen, just since we just had boiler one installed, my question is this cost similar to what we paid just a few months ago for boiler one to be installed?
I don't remember. Tim, will you remember how much we paid for install for one? Probably around the same. Yeah, I think it's probably on the same.
Okay, I can, now that I know how to look things up, I can probably I can
Any other questions from anybody?
Any other questions from board members? Director
One
Nagy?
more, sorry. I noticed on this, quote, it says March 5th. Is that a misprint or is that?
Mm,
You look on the upper right hand
Yeah,
corner, it's.
I did that. I don't know, it might be a misprint. Yep.
Okay.
But I presume the price is valid. Yes, we just received it a few weeks back.
Is there anyone online who would like to address this item? Raise your hand if you'd like to comment. Seeing none, is there anybody in the room who'd like to comment?
maybe he just copied it from the last folder installed, that's why. Is that date? In which case it's probably a closed cost.
Any additional comments or motions?
I move that we, to say it, authorize the general manager to enter into a contract with Art McDonald for installation of boiler number 2 at Sand Plant in the amount not to exceed $64,980.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Moving on to the general manager's report, item 5.
Yeah, we've got the packet having all the flow details for the month of August. Staff is here to answer any questions. So besides that, I'd like to give a brief update on a plant shutdown that we had last week. And I have a small presentation which I can go on to PowerPoint and then share that presentation.
Okay.
Well, let's have this presentation.
I mean,
Road trip.
Okay, so we had the plant shut down on September 17th, which was last week. And this is a plant shutdown, which is scheduled, of course. A lot of players were involved in this, which I'll come to that very soon. Now, what was the objective of this plant shutdown was we had to replace and relocate the automatic transfer switch, which is supplied by Eaton. Now, the automatic transfer switch is something which transfers or which allows you to transfer from PG&E power to generator power or from generator power to PG&E, vice versa. So that switch plays a major role. Now this switch was pretty old and was obsolete, so we had to get that replaced as soon as we can. So we got in touch with Eaton, ordered for the automatic transfer switch that came about, but we didn't want to install it in the same place where it was because the cabinet was already, a lot of things were giving way. We had to move the automatic transfer switch, so we had to move this to a different location. So the estimate time required for the activity was about 6 to 8 hours given by Eaton. And so we sat down, Sam, you know how our operators are, the entire SAM staff. I'm proud to have SAM staff who are literally super task force. We have Superman, we have Batman, we have name whatever. We have the entire courses and so forth.
Yay.
So we all sat down, discussed and said, okay, let's go ahead and plan for it. So we have to do a lot of prep work. So the first prep work which needs to be done is we inform PG&E and obtain a date for the power shutdown. And this we had to receive it. We had to do that a couple of months in advance. PG&E is not available, on the back of the call. You all know that. So this is a planned one, which took several months. And finally, we got a date for the power shutdown. And once we got that, we had to coordinate with other agencies. First of all, with Eaton, because they have to be present to relocate the automatic transfer switch. Then we need to have Calcon, who's our electrical contractor, who knows all our electrical stuff. They had to be present. And of course, get information from PG&E. And then we had to rent or borrow necessary equipments. Because a lot of things are required when we do a total plant shutdown. We need to have generators because there are a couple of things which have to keep going. Whether there is power or not, you need to have backup power. You have to make that run. One, for example, is administrative building. That needs to have power because you have the SCADA server, you have the main server, and you have admin staff, computers. They need to be working with emails and all that. So we need to have a generator at admin building. We got that from MWST. They allowed us to borrow their generator. We need to have generator for the blowers and analyzers, which is actually a SAM-owned generator. The blowers need to supply air to the aeration basin to keep the bugs alive and growing. So that's why you need the blowers. And then the analyzers, so that when you have the effluent, you need to keep checking to make sure that whatever is going on in the plant is well within the limits. So we need power there to go to the SAM, to go to the effluent blowers as well as analyzers. We also need generators for the chemical areas, which are done on a rental basis to keep the chemicals like sodium hypochlorite, the disinfectant, and sodium bisulfite, so that it dechlorinates. All this stuff is required. So we have a separate generator for a chemical station itself. And then we need trash pumps for the plant influent because the influent can support the plant shutdown. So the influent pumps do not work. So all the sewer which is comes into the wet well. So the wet well starts getting overwhelmed. It starts rising because the sewer is coming. And the sewer is coming from Half Moon Bay from south, and from the north, it comes from Frenchman's Creek and from San Pablo lift station. So since it's coming continuously and it's filling up the wet well, we need a pump, a standalone pump, which can pump from the wet well onto the next process, wherever it is, clarifiers or whatever. So therefore, trash pumps are required.
I came to visit that day and walked around. There were generators. Every time you turned a corner, there was a new generator humming away.
Yeah, so the prep work, continuing with the prep work, we had to prep standalone pumps, fill fuel in all the generators prior in advance. We had to inform dischargers like rocket farms and parks not to plan any discharges on shutdown day, because they can always hold it. That's not a problem for them if you keep them informed in advance. They're able to do that, so we inform them well in advance. We have to order portable toilets and stock enough drinking water because staff continues to work here. And toilets don't work because there's no water supply inside the plant. So we need to have all those arrangements to be done, basic facilities. And then have spare PLCs. PLCs are basically programmable logic controller, which are the smart ones which takes in signals and allows something to operate. Okay. So these are more prone to fail when you switch power from PG&E to generator or from generator to PG&E. We've had that in the past. And a lot of these PLCs are obsolete and they're not available. So we reach out to aftermarket and places to get PLCs. So we stock them well in advance. Typically get it from eBay and other places because they no longer.
I was gonna say eBay.
Okay, so day before shutdown, what do? We empty the primary clarifier number 2 so that we have 2 empty primary clarifiers. We actually have 3 clarifiers, out of which 2 were filled, so we had to empty one of them so that we have only one. We have 2 empty primary clarifiers. Then we connect hoses to the mobile trash pumps and set up floats. So the float will work when the level goes down, then stops when the level goes up, when the pump starts running, so that it can pump from the wet well to the next process. set up generators at all these locations, verify the connected wiring, and then we need to do a dry run to make sure that the generators are running. We check all the PLCs and then make sure that all cables are proper. We have the necessary cables for power switchover.
Keishan, did you do that dry run just the day before or?
Yeah, of course, we do the maintenance of all our own generators well in advance.
Mhm.
But to be on the safe side, we do that the day before.
Okay.
So the day of shutdown, what do we do on the day of shutdown? So we start pretty early in the morning. And in fact, some of us came as early as 4:30, 5 o'clock, because they have to take care of the rotary drum thickener. We wanted to get all that waste thickened before we shut off power, because we don't have a generator for the rotary drum thickener. We had to take care of that. Then some of the staff had to go to Montera, Portola, and Valimar, because we had to shut off the sewer coming in from the north pump stations. We had to place all the alarms on test. Most important, we had to tag out on all relevant places. And then we started all the dedicated generators in the plant. So the power transfer to different buildings, as I've mentioned in the past, we had to switch over the administration building to generator power, then chemical building to generator power, switch over blower to the generator power, and we also had to provide a small generator to run the main plant PLC. And then we had to wait for the PG&E person to show up. He did show up pretty early, about 8 o'clock or so. So we started off. They disconnected the power. Ethan was already here. We were waiting for PG&E person to come. Once PG&E came and disconnected power, then we had to monitor the flow coming from Half Moon Bay into the plant. We need to have standby pumps ready just in case one of the pumps is not able to meet the demand. We had to have a standby pump, which will take care of pumping sewer from the wet well into the station. Then, of course, we had to open all the gates of the plant for access, easy access for people to move around. Then after the work was done, the completion of work by Eaton, we had to do a lot of follow-up. So we had to verify the functions of the new automatic transfer switch, perform power transfer tests. We had to do that a couple of times, switch over, change from PG&E. After we called the PG&E person back, he was actually at a different location at Pescadero. We waited for him. He came at about 4:30, 5 o'clock in the evening after Eaton had finished. We had to wait for it. But then he came, switched on the power, and then we had to check the functions of the new automatic transfer switch. We reset the plant equipment. We had to give an okay to PG&E to reconnect power, and then reset the plant equipment, and then went out and restarted Portola, Valimar, and Montera. We removed all the temporary power sources. It's not that we did not have any glitch during the entire process. At the end of it, the automatic transfer switch was not working. The new one was not working, but the one which was supplied by Eaton. So they struggled till late in the night. My staff was here till about 11 in the night. And even when we got a rental generator, we had actually disconnected a battery source. So we found out one of the problems was that they connected that, but still the automatic transfer switch was not working. So they put the old one back. Came back on Friday. It was a plug and play. We didn't have to do a plant shutdown because they'd already done the wiring. But they came on Friday, removed the old automatic transfer switch and put it back. Everything is working fine. But we did have a small glitch.
Wait,
And of
what did
course-
they put back? The new one?
The new one, yeah. They put back the new one. They didn't put it back.
You said they removed the old.
They removed the
Put
old
it
one.
back.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
They removed the old one and put back the new.
So you had to restart the system.
Yeah, but of course, staff was tense on Wednesday. Everything went fine, but who knew that such a thing would happen?
I mean, of all the things, your brand new piece of equipment.
Yeah. So then we had to do the power transfer to different buildings, bring it back to what it was earlier, get everybody everywhere, get PG&E power on, check all UPSs, all PLC cabinets. And so just to give you an idea about I have some pictures of the equipment. This is a big generator which is required, which can literally run the entire plant. And this is required because we need to have two backup sources when we lose power. For example, if we lose on the regular days, we have PG&E power and we have our own generator. So when PG&E power is lost, we need to have two backup parts. So it will be our generator as well as this rental generator. So we had to rent this huge monster. So this is the connection from the wet well. You have hoses going from the wet well, going to the clarifier for the next process. This is the generator for administration building. It was actually parked just outside the admin building here. Connected there, you have a switch there that you can move it from generator mode to PG&E mode. This supplies power to the entire admin building, the SCADA servers, the regular server and the main server. So this is the generator for the blower area. This is the back. Then the generator for the chemical area. These are the pumps which you call trash pumps. This is trash pump number 1 and the one behind this. This is trash pump number 2. So these are all connected going to the wet well. So this is the scenario I wanted to give you guys, just a virtual scenario of what happened on that particular day. This is the famous ATS on the right side, which is called the automatic transfer switch, which got changed to replace the old with the new.
That's good.
That's
Is
it.
is it in the same location?
Yes. We actually moved it to a different location.
Okay.
But not far.
Not far, just opposite. Yep, so staff is here to answer any questions. I have a couple of my lead operators also here with me. Gabe and George was staying there. Myself.
Let the camera show them.
And we have most of our staff here on Zoom today.
Hi, guys.
Yeah, great job.
Excellent, thank you.
Yes. How is this something, I mean, it's impressive, all the steps you have to do to be ready and then all the steps you have to undo after. How often does this happen that you have to shut down the plant?
Yeah, typically, we would need to do the maintenance of the bus duct, and that's recommended, I think, once in 3 years or once in 5 years, once in 3 years. So that point of time, we would need to shut it down just like what we did now.
Okay, just every
If
few
there's
years.
an emergency like this or if any change, any repair work needs to be done on the switchgear or on the ATS, then we will need to shut it off.
So it's one of those times when we're happy that we have so many very long-term people who've been through this once or twice or 3 times.
Absolutely.
Yeah, very useful. You also mentioned that you notified Rocket Farms and parks. I was wondering what parks?
State parks?
State parks.
They have a lot of just from the
Not a lot,
beach and
but
stuff, the
you
RV
know,
park.
come either every day or every other day and dump all their whatever they get from restrooms and all that.
That makes sense.
But they're pumping.
I didn't know about that. That's informational.
Yeah, they base animals, so we get some revenue from them.
Yeah, because there are restrooms all along a coastal trail are just have to be pumped out.
And it's a good thing they're not flushable, in my experience with flushable toilets in remote areas. Is there are things that clog pipes, just used for whatever reason, certainly not to clean one's body.
I hate to ask what it is.
You don't want to.
It's not.
And it plugs pipes.
I think it's the things that actually with all of the waste going into the wet well, usually it goes through the thing can't remember the name of, the vertical. Yeah, the screen that takes out all the rags and towels and stuff. So do you just skip that part?
No, it's still the same.
Oh,
Still goes.
so did that?
It stacks up on.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna have to adjust that part too. We're adding to it each time too.
Is there a manual override?
No,
That's
we have a manual on the side,
On the
which we
side.
we open up and then you clean that by hand, old school way.
Oh,
It
okay.
just has to catch up when the power's back.
Yeah, but it's pretty quick, yeah, it doesn't take much.
Curious, how long does a generator power the plant? You had several, right? You had big ones, small ones, but in general, how long does it, not the one you rented, the one on site, Sam. So power went out, how long would that generator operate?
Days. It goes up in days.
Okay,
Almost a day.
No, no days. I mean, we keep providing, refilling it.
Oh,
We
yeah.
have enough fuel.
Fuel.
It'll run for.
so you just have to keep
Yeah, periodically we have to keep
Is that-
topping up the diesel.
gas or
The diesel.
natural gas?
Diesel.
It's very old,
It's a very old generator,
but it works really well.
1970s, but it works.
Oh,
It's
diesel.
never.
It's almost
Such a good.
850 kW or 800 kW.
And we have $1 million in the gift for. purchasing a new generator.
And old dogs.
And no dogs.
Because
Yes, Sid. Would you like to unmute and comment, Sid?
Yeah, I'm trying to. I had a question about the power that you were switching off. Can you tell me if you were you have to do a lot more than that when you go ahead and change the power over on the when we redo the electrical building?
Yeah.
oh yeah, a lot more needs to be done if you have to relocate the electrical building. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I know I haven't followed everything, but a long time ago when we had the flood or the near overtopping of the plant, they said they really needed to move the electrical room for the safety of the employees and the whole plant, really. And I don't think that project has happened yet. So this project that you just did seemed like it was 1 day project or maybe 2 days. But if you have to put a whole new electrical plant online, if you rebuild the electrical room, that is, will you be down for more than a day, do you think, when you switch it over?
No, much more than that. Correction to what you said.
Okay.
It's not that nothing has been happening on that project. The project is in the design stage. We've got grant from FEMA for completing the design of about $500,000. We've awarded the job to Stantec Consulting. They are far ahead in the design. The preliminary design report is already available. I just got it yesterday. We are reviewing it, and we'll be bringing it to the board in the next meeting, which is on October 27th.
Oh,
So
cool.
that is the preliminary design report. We have time until end of March to complete the design as per FEMA requirements. So a lot of work is going on that.
Right. Okay. Well, I just concerned because, they talked about thunderstorms this week, and I don't want any guys in our plant to get electrocuted. Thank you. Bye.
Will it take more than a day to shut down for the electrical transfer? I think that was her question.
Yeah, I think it would be. It would be for sure.
Well,
And maybe we'll do it in stages.
but we hope that we get everything,
Yeah.
that new electrical ready
Right.
and probably transfer hopefully sections or parts at a time. Maybe something that we still need to.
Yeah.
In the planning process.
Yeah.
Just like how we would do for a force main. We would not stop all the flow coming from everywhere for a couple of days. We will still have a bypass, we'll have the old one going, the sewer going, and then we switch over. So we'll have all that. And then do the changeover. It's going to take some time.
Yeah, a little bit at a time.
Yeah,
That makes
that's
sense. Interesting.
Other questions? Okay, I think we can move on to attorney's report.
Yes, good evening, honorable board members. I've got 2 items for your consideration tonight. The first, a quick update on Public Records Act requests. We've been getting a lot of them. We currently have 5 pending, a couple of which are quite voluminous. 3 of the 5 pertain in some manner to the Seal Cove dispute. So we're coordinating with counsel from Montera, Christine Fitzgerald, on that. The other item is SB 707. I briefed the board at the last board meeting about that. It passed out of the Assembly and the Senate. For a while there, it looked like it was going to become a 2-year bill, and then the author picked it back up again, and it ultimately got resolved, and it's on the way to the governor. League of Cities is still opposed to it, so it's not clear if the governor will veto it. Some bills you'd think would be on the glide path and be okay, but if it does not pass, some of the prior Brown Act flexibility that was approved by the legislature would sunset on January 1st, 2026. Because AB 259, which was originally supposed to just be a clean extension of that regulatory flexibility, that died and was kind of superseded by 707. So if the governor signs it, then you kind of have 2 different things: more flexibility for SAM as a JPA, and some more flexibility for the city of Half Moon Bay, but also some more burdens that go along with it. If the governor doesn't sign it, then we've got the issue of some like the just cause and emergency circumstances ability to participate remotely when you don't do the normal steps of teleconferencing. Those are going to go away as of January 1st. So stay tuned. Once the governor signs it, I will certainly let the board know about that. And that's all I have for this evening. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Any questions for council? Is there anyone who would like to comment on this item? Seeing none, we'll move on to director's report.
I have a question that just came up in my brain, back to the shutdown of the plant. How much flow came in from a Half Moon Day? And will that be a reliable baseline for watching, the amount shift during the wet weather?
No, that will not be the basis for the wet weather. We'll not be able to conclude for wet weather, but whatever happened in the dry weather, we definitely know that about probably 350,000 gallons, Kevin.
And
Because
so-
we had stored sewer at the old aeration basins, we had stored sewer in the primary. So put together all that, plus we went back and also checked the daily flows coming on that particular day, then we shut down and all that. So a quick thing would be around 300 to 350,000 gallons
For that period, but what about?
for
the whole-
about 9 hour period.
For a 9 hour period, so
And that includes Frenchman's Creek and Miramar.
Yeah, that is very minimal.
Yeah.
You know, Frenchman's Creek and Santiago is very less. And this is just like from whatever we got this.
and so what would the 24 hour number be roughly?
For
9 hours is 350.
About 900,000. Yeah.
Can't use that.
Well, you can't directly, Cover
Would
that.
you like to put an item on a future agenda rather than having this
oh.
non-agendized
I would love that.
conversation
Thank
tonight?
you.
That would be good. Thank you.
I apologize, I had been thinking about asking those questions and then it suddenly occurred to me
Yeah.
that I had.
Let's keep things orderly here. Item 9 is to convene in closed session. So we have,
So we have nothing in the topics for future board consideration.
Yeah.
What we do is the flow, the analysis of the flow results from this plant.
but it should
shutdown.
be for everybody.
Yeah.
All
Oh, yeah.
agencies.
We'll put that as a topic.
Thank you.
Probably take it up when we do the ionized study and then bring it up again.
Do we have anything on 9A, which is conference with legal counsel existing litigation? Or is it just item B?
Chair Reddick, if I could just go into closed session just briefly, I'm gonna make one quick comment. I'd rather do it in closed session, and then I will
Okay.
depart for item 9B.
Okay. So
Okay,
we are
we need a
going
break.
to convene in a closed session.
Yeah, we need a break so that PCP
We
can
need a break, and so everybody who's not going to be part of this meeting should
give time for PCP.
close out the meeting, and we'll see you some other time.
Okay.